On the men's side, we returned 3 great seniors, and they've all had great summers as well. So, and then as with both teams, we're going to be really, how our seniors go, that's how our season's going to go. We're going to rely a lot on our seniors. But this year, we have Matt Bean, he'll probably be our #1 player. And we have Cody Reynolds, and then we have Carson Harcourt. They're all coming off of excellent summers, and I really expect big things out of them this season. And again, they're going to lead our group, so
Great.
On the men's side.
Great. First competition, what are some things that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, again, we're looking at that. We have a couple of new guys that are going to be playing for the first time. We have a junior college transfer in Cash Kaufman who's come in from Eastern Wyoming Junior College. They're a school that routinely goes to the national championship. So we've had high expectations for him when he came in, and he's lived up to those so far from what I've seen. So we're really excited to see how he plays in his first tournament. And then we have another player, Andrew McCarchuk. It's going to be his first action. He's a sophomore, but he was right on the edge of playing last year for us. And he works so hard, and my comments to him all season was, I can't wait to see where you're at in the fall. And he's had a great summer. He qualified for the Canadian Junior Amateur Tournament, and he's just had a really consistent summer, so we're expecting big things from him this year as well.
What are kind of your expectations for the season?
Yeah, so on the men's side, again, if our top 3 play the way we think they're going to play, or we expect them to play, we're going to be right there for the conference championship. I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't. Matt and Cody and Carson are as good as anybody in the conference. It's just a matter of putting those 4 scores together. They had a great fall last year, and I think going into the spring they were looked at one of the conference favorites. And then in the spring, we just had a disappointing spring. So we're going to work on that in the off season to try to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to change some things up to kind of keep them fresh and focused, and kind of get them ready. But for right now, we're really expecting those 3 to lead us, and we expect big things this season.
Are there other teams in the conference that that return a few players, or?
Yeah, well, no one is always. They're the team that's going to be the ones to beat. I think they're already listed as the favorite. They have a player that won the Minnesota State Amateur this past over the summer, so they have one of the top players in the conference as well. Concordia, St. Paul, they returned pretty much everybody this year on a team that finished very well in the conference last year. So I think those 2 are the ones that are really are going to be the ones that are going to be right there at the top of the conference.
What's it been like just taking over as head coach?
Yeah, I think the coaching part has been pretty simple. It's golf. You really try to work with a lot of the mental part of it. At this point, they've had a lot of instruction. They've played in a lot of tournaments, so you're just trying to get them to work on different things. Like with the guys, I try not to get them to focus so much on their score, because when they go out for their practice rounds, they all play excellent, and then something changes when a tournament happens, when the score counts a little bit. So and they're good enough where when they get up to a hole, they should be able to attack the hole, so they should be able to play. And so my focus on the men's side is let's see how many birdies you can make. And then on the women's side, I'm really trying to get them to really focus on how many greens in regulation they can hit. And I haven't really talked about the women so far, but I'm really impressed with the women. Again, with the women, we have pretty much an all-senior team. We'll probably field our top 5 will probably be all seniors this year. And our top 2, they've earned NSIC awards over the last 2 years, and we really expect them to vie for not only the individual titles for our conference, but if we can get those 2 to play well, and we can get the other ones to play up to their potential, again, we should be able to compete in the conference on the women's side as well.
We want to talk about some of the players that you're optimistic about on the women's side?
Yeah, so Miriam Dumas and Alexandra Demko, they're the ones that they both earned. They've all been, and they've been on the all NSIC team. Marion was all conference last year. Alexandra, she went to the regional, she qualified for the regional tournament last year. So again, they're two of the top players in the conference, and they have just they're just excellent golfers. And again, they're going to lead our team. If they play well, we're gonna do well. So we have a lot of high expectations for them. But something I've told the other gals too is we have 5 really good players. I was really impressed with how well they play, and I'm really trying to instill that confidence in them, because that's what golf is. It's a complete confidence game, and if you lack a little confidence, it's going to show up on your score when you play. So we have 5 really good players. We're going to be able to put 5 really good players out there. It's just a matter of getting those 4 scores that count, and again, it's going to be led by those top 2.
I got one more. How important is it to be able to have this experience on the women's side, especially in a game that you talk about is very, very much above the shoulders?
Yeah, and again, it kind of goes with both teams. It's not only nice to have that experience, and you know, a lot of them have a lot of tournament experience now, but they're usually more mature as well. So they just handle the situation a little bit better than someone who's coming in as a freshman. Even a good freshman that comes in, I kind of always tell the story about that first tournament you go to. Even if you're a well-accomplished player coming in as a junior, that first tournament you go to, you look at the practice range, you see all these great swings, you see everybody hitting the ball perfectly, and it's, you start to kind of question how good you are, because you're seeing a whole line of players that are, visually they look as good as you, and then, but it takes some time to play in a few tournaments, and then when you see your scores match up against theirs, then you kind of get that more in that comfort zone. So by now the gals, the women and the men, they have that already. So again, we expect that, and we also expect them to mentor the younger players coming up. We've got some good players coming up, and they're kind of taking on that role as well. So.